Welcome back to another episode of Net Talk. Another week, another something. Couldn't finish that sentence. I'm Alex.
Another we're talking net. We have to,
3 weeks in a row.
It's just our thing now. I'm Mitch.
yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into how our weeks have been. Your week been good?
Yeah, it
Same
has.
shame. Good pit? Good peak? I'm a good pit. Hopefully it's not a good
pit?
A good shame.
Oh, no, it's a funny pit. It's funny-ish. My sleigh is I am going to be assistant coach in the Vipers. Yeah.
That hasn't been broadcasted anywhere yet.
The head coach has been broadcasted, so I can spill. I hope.
What if he fires you?
Imagine I get fired.
Yeah. Terrible trial.
Terrible trust
because
in
the
me.
trials are coming up so soon.
They're literally this Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be really pivoting towards my coaching because so that was fun.
Good chance to learn.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good coaching group. Some really good experienced people I'm really keen to learn from, and just being in the AVL program as a coach will be very different to a player. So it'll be fun to like.
Oh, I think it'll be the same. You'll still be on the bench.
Anyways, it's actually a good shout. Okay. My shame is Kate and I keep saying like, oh, we're gonna cook this week. We're gonna cook this week. I just cooked about one meal and then Uber Eats, and then my housemate was home today because of the Tottenham match in the morning, and he stayed up and was like, and then he missed work today, and then was like
a couple of sick days.
He like messaged me. He's like, Jax? And I was like, hell yeah, say less. Jax is our local charcoal chicken place, by the way. It's great. You should definitely.
It is pretty good, actually.
It's
for someone
very
that was like, what is this place?
It's
because the only time I had previously heard it mentioned, bit of insight, was only on Mondays when it's closed.
Yeah, we hate that
Everyone
it's
was
on
like, let's
Monday.
get it. And it's like, oh my God.
It's a Monday. It's the worst. It's
Yeah.
the worst. But yeah, good overall. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your slaying?
I've just got 2 sleighs because I'm just a positive guy. Or maybe I just really misinterpret what a health professional tells me.
Definitely that.
But this is potentially, I had my last physio appointment today, in that they did say, oh, do we need to pencil in another one just to be safe? And what I said, can I just give it a couple of weeks and then I'll come back with more problems probably.
with different problems.
Yeah, with different problems. But it was like, yeah, it's kind of at that point where I just need to actually
do the
load
work.
it now. Like
load
with
it back
actual
up.
pliers, with weight.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm trying to do, get back to being 100%. But now it is at the point where still a little sore when I'm playing, but they were very optimistic that it wasn't so sore when I was just living my daily life.
That's what they care about.
That's what they care about.
That's the main thing they care about.
Honestly, it's NFL preseason time, but not really. It's like preseason.
It's like so early.
But it's so funny. I love seeing news get broadcasted before it even happens, because this is like contract negotiations of like.
And you're just all over it.
Oh, I just love it because the 49ers just signed their quarterback, who was the
I
last
got
pick
no
in the
idea.
draft. Last pick in the draft, and he just got last pick of the draft would be getting maybe $100,000.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Are they?
I don't know.
You're the NFL guy.
Well, now
not
he's getting
me.
$50 million a year, so that's not a bad pay rise
Jesus Christ.
for 5 years. For 5 years, $50 million.
$50 million
And that's
a year.
not even top 10 most paid players, I don't think. Maybe it's up there.
We are playing the wrong sport.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's so wild because like you even see the rookies that get drafted. There's one rookie, all right, that got drafted in the first round. He's still holding out because he doesn't have like guaranteed pay in his rookie contract. It says he has to play a certain amount of games.
Okay.
So he's holding out, and it's
Trying to
like,
wait for a good offer.
Oh, it's so rare for a rookie to do that because it's like
Pay me more.
just get in the. Well, most people are like, I just want to get in the league and
then figure
get
it out
showing.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What's going on in the world of volleyball?
Yeah,
Club seasons across the world are done.
they're all done.
It's
Every single
international
one.
season now in 2 weeks. It comes around quick. It's a quick turnaround.
That's like you see all the national teams have like released their rosters.
Yeah.
And most of like the big names are missing out.
It is a funny time because it is.
And it's funny because we played VNL Fantasy last year. Like that's how we like Loki, that's how we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but
Me asking Mitch, who's this guy from wherever?
yeah, but like the funniest thing is like we complained that VNL fantasy won't be good next year because it's like, oh, it's the Olympics. Everyone was resting before the Olympics. And now it's the first year of an Olympic cycle. So all the big names don't play.
Aren't even
So
there
it's
at all.
Gonna be,
Yeah.
It's going to be even harder
Yeah,
to
because
play.
last year was like none of the Polish team showed up for the first 2 weeks. And it was
Yeah.
like, oh, sick.
And
I'm
it's gonna
glad
be-
I picked 4 of them.
Yeah. But now it's going to be none of the main players from any nation are showing up for any of the weeks.
Nah, but it'll be still very interesting. There are still enough bigger names on teams, but it is funny seeing people that you might think would get up on the Poland team, someone that was in the CV, Champions League, like their buzzer didn't get even on the long roster for Poland, and it was like, what?
I think the safe bets talking about VNL Fantasy is going to be Bulgaria and Turkey.
They had a lot of big players last year too, because they just run it through two people. Lagumja just hits all their balls, and
the other Lagumja hits all the other balls.
Hits the other ones. So just if you pick a Lagumja, you'll be okay. You'll be all right. But within the country,
is there anything within the country?
It's AVL time. I was just going to throw it there, like trial time.
Trial time
for Vipers specifically. I believe WA advertised their trials as well.
WA did their first trial 2 months ago.
Oh, did they? Someone advertised their trial on Instagram. Don't remember which one it was. Maybe.
It's time to trial.
It's time to trial.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
When it comes after
AVSL
we get cut.
Yeah.
It's just funny to see that it's on a Sunday and a Wednesday.
We'll give you guys Alex's update on him trialing, and I'll give everyone the coach inside. No, I won't.
Yeah. So the last big world tournament thing was CEV.
Little underwhelming, not going to lie.
The whole tournament was horrible.
Yeah.
I think it was the
worst time to jump in as a fan.
The most disinterested I've been watching professional volleyball because
up until legitimately the last
until the
games.
semi-final, I don't think I really could get invested. And then even one of the semis wasn't very good. Sorry, Halkbank.
No, they folded.
Yeah,
they folded.
I think they just didn't have the endurance to go. Like they just started.
Oh, they tried to get all those international players, and they got told no.
Yeah. But specifically on the women's side, it was just like two teams that were walloping everyone for the first 3 months, and it's just like.
And then that team that walloped everyone just. Yeah,
Caneliano
is so good.
But then the men's side finally got interesting in the final. Mainly this might be why I bought in, and probably a couple people listening might have bought in, was Luke Perry, an Australian, actually got to play in the CEV finals because he ended up getting relegated to the bench in the Polish final because of
the international rules.
Yeah. But so he got to play. They had a 5-setter semi-final. Amazing game. Reverse sweep.
Yeah.
Really, really good to watch. Few different players popped up for Zavierce.
Yeah,
to beat JSW. And then in their final, they tried to go for a reverse sweep again.
They almost got it done again.
I don't know what a team does to be because like you can't say it's being a slow starter.
No, when you're constantly doing reverse sweeping.
They're not 2018 Renegades. They're not slow starters. They're just there.
You mean 2025 Renegades?
No, we don't start. We didn't start at all.
Yeah.
But then they also had their dream team, which was really interesting to see who got all-star for the tournament.
I think it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, there was no like serious snubs.
Yeah.
Luke Perry was named the best lib. I genuinely think he was the best lib.
Yeah, I don't think there was much competition at CV for libros.
No, but like even like he was the best Polish libro, the best libro, and you dare say one of the best libros in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
Just a shame he's got no hitters in his national team. I'm gonna get flagged for saying that. But
now the club season is done.
Luke Perry's just resting.
Sorry to the people that don't have national teams to go to. There's a few different players that you see here as well that you just will now not see, even though they're really good.
Yeah, we won't see.
I was trying to think of who I don't remember.
Well, there's a few other players around that like used to just not play. Like Rich Licky from Trentino. I can't remember his nationality, but now he's actually transfer. He's technically a citizen of Italy now, so he's actually eligible to play for the Italian national team.
Yeah. But that's like the big, long international roster that you're seeing everyone sit from
40
is the
squad.
But the US players are all sitting, and I had seen that Aaron Russell's getting knee surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
I think one of the 9x9 boys put it on a story or mentioned it, but it was just seeing, I was like,
good time though. Like that's the time.
Club season done, knee surgery. But
that's what a lot of other like.
I think he actually said like 4 people on the Zavierce team are now just not playing because of injury. Well, Bieniek
was one. Yeah, his ankle was cooked apparently.
Yeah, Boutron's was pretty bad.
But moving on, I think I'd seen this rumor. I'd seen this rumor going around, and I'm not surprised. Like it just. Simeon Nikolov going to Russia. Of course, Long Beach aren't going to pay him millions of dollars to play volleyball.
Yeah, I want to know what his contract actually is, because that was all the debate. Was like the media of staying at college, but you are playing a couple tiers below.
You're beating up the entire competition as a setter.
Like Simeon's been playing above that level since he's probably like been 15.
Yeah,
but it's like you can stay there for the media. You could go sit, like a couple of things like, you could sit behind a setter in Italy, because not many clubs would probably ride or die by a 19-year-old, 20-year-old setter.
I do wonder if he'll start. I feel like he will start.
I think I'd seen that he's going to start for the team that he went to in Russia.
Lokomotiv.
Yeah.
There's two Lokomotiv teams, I think.
But the coach is the old Bulgarian coach as well. Yeah, okay. So that's probably swayed him a little bit to go there.
But I am curious as to why he would go to. I mean, like, but to be fair, he probably got offers everywhere.
Yeah.
But also, Russia's like a bit of a media blackout zone.
Yeah, but it is a historically good league, correct?
It's a very good league. Yeah.
But you can't watch it, so you'll see him at VNL, and then you won't see him again. You won't see him again for a year.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is Micah Christensen is going back to the Italian league, so it's like finally we get to watch him somewhere other than the USA national team, because we haven't been able to watch him for some years now. But yeah, anyways.
And another Australian transfer, which is really, really good to see, and a massive deal, I think, to someone watching, is Mitch Croft, who you may not have really seen yet.
He actually used to play for Renegades.
Yeah. I don't think he ever actually played for us, though.
No, he did.
Did he play P2 season?
Not P2. He played Div 1. Because Gus and I coached him.
Didn't he?
We were like, man, this guy should not be in this division.
An AVA athlete, has done junior national team stuff, went to a college in Canada, can't remember the name of, and has transferred to a top 4.
A very, very good. Which
He's
is
going
massive.
to Hawaii, which is a huge deal, I think, and big congratulations to doing that. And that is now 2 big Australian opposites in the top 4 teams, because we've got Will Darcy at Irvine.
As much as we love it, can we start producing
anything
other than pass hitters and opposites? Can we get some setters, some middles? Like, we need a whole team.
They can both do it. They can both pass hit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mitch has done a lot of everything, so over his time.
Yeah, he's done a bit.
What were you making him do in Res 1? Middle, probably?
I'm pretty sure Gus was making him do middle.
I'm pretty sure he did middle. I'm pretty sure he did middle for a bit of high school too.
I think he was at middle at the time.
And then we saw him at a Warrnambool before he went overseas,
and he was playing
right side. But then I remember he did do a set in the middle at that tournament as well. And I was like, what are they doing?
He beat us up right side that game.
Yeah. Behind the service line, he was hitting like he was front court.
He was just lucky that we weren't fresh and it was 42 degrees.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah, we nudge. All right, moving on to what everyone really wants to hear about, other than Australians doing really well overseas. State League.
Yeah, let's 1 tier below international volleyball, probably. You know,
just a slight bit. Not quite as good as Hawaii, but like pretty close.
Better.
Sure.
Better than NCAA, but just like, we'll get Brazard down here next year.
Sure. All right. So on the men's, the first result of the day was
round 7.
Yeah, round 7. Wow, it's moving fast. We're literally round 8's this weekend, and that is the halfway point.
Yeah.
Oh, under the halfway point. There's 18 rounds this year. I lied. Still, I was like, whoa, almost halfway. Almost.
It'll be a midpoint checkpoint.
Yeah. Dandenong versus Mazenod. We had foreseen this could go the distance. These two teams are pretty scrappy, pretty defense heavy. They can fight it out. They can upset a top team here and there. Mazenod takes this one 3-2. Big 5-setter. I feel like we were at the stadium at this time, but we were both very occupied.
I remember being very loud because both teams actually do get pretty decent crowds to their games, or their other teams supporting. I think it was their second set that was definitely getting loud, and that went beyond 25 to 27, 25. So that is interesting to see, and really good to see Dandenong keep really good form from when they had really good form when they played us, and then last week they were good too.
They're figuring it out, absolutely. Next one is Maroondah versus Latrobe. Maroondah, is this their first win?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so.
The boys went and did it.
They're on the table.
They're on the board.
And
Convincing too, because we went to 5 with Latrobe.
Actually, you were coaching, sorry, at this time. I was watching this game.
Oh, were you? Okay.
I was sitting back.
Oh, you would have been dutying.
Yeah. I wasn't duty. I don't help. I don't contribute. I came from coaching, thank you.
Yeah, fair enough.
But so I didn't see the start. I think I only caught sort of that last set.
Okay.
And Cobras just looked so offensively clean. They were hitting kills really well from really high points.
Well, they're a big young team.
And in a 4-point stretch, it could be a critique, but it was good that they ran a lot of options because it was like outside, kill, middle, kill, behind, kill, which is just good that they were running a lot of options when I was seeing that towards that end of the 4 set. Did speak to a couple of Latrobe guys. They were not so happy.
Fair enough.
They were a bit down about how they played. I think they didn't really receive that well.
I feel like if you look at the ladder, they probably went into that game thinking they would win.
Fine. Yeah.
But
I think that was the only issue that someone brought up to me was the problem was just the first touch.
The expectation.
Just the first touch was never
there.
Clean enough was the critique. But it was a very high energy game.
I feel like Latrobe always bring the energy no matter what. But the Cobras boys getting it done.
Yeah.
So
then 1 court over, we had Yarra just being clean.
Dominant
3-0 against VFAM.
Yeah.
Didn't really get to watch any of this because we were
playing.
We weren't playing, but we were there.
Yeah, actually, you and I were not playing.
But Yarra's just rolling. They look really clean again.
Yeah.
When they have all their players available.
Yeah, I think that's probably an important distinction to make. And then there was us, the match of the week. We've picked now every match of the week on the men's side has been 3-0, including us.
And the women's side's also been 3-0 both times.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
We got to get better.
We picked 4-3, 3-0, relatively one-sided. I think one of the women's game wasn't really one-sided that we picked 2 weeks ago. But
to be fair to us, this game was actually close.
Yeah.
We consistently in all 3 of these sets got to 19 points all, and then couldn't
Heidelberg just knows how to get 6 points in a row.
Yeah.
5 points in a row at whenever they feel like it, and then they can, like, other teams can respond, but then it's just such a, I don't even know how to describe it, debilitating team to like play against.
Yeah.
Because you're just sitting there and it's just like,
it was oddly for us, it was a low energy game because I think we started the game low energy. Our warm up wasn't good. They didn't really
they know how to sap energy, and it's rocking up after warm up has started
with
Kanwar setting because Bowen wasn't there yet, and they just roll in, they do enough to get their body right, and then they just have the control over the ball that, like, you as the opposing team need to bring a fire and a want and a belief. Yeah. And it just felt we were really flat on our side.
And I feel like because, I think I served once or twice. I think the important distinction to make with a team like Heidelberg is, and this is something that we potentially are trying to emulate as we go forward and as we learn a lesson like this, because we've played them how many times now and lost to them a good amount of times.
Now
got to be able to play
60-40.
Yes, the percentage is going down. You got to be able to play free, and you got to be able to play without baggage. Because like anyone who was there watching this game, we played well. Like we didn't play bad or anything like that, but it was the ability for them to have these stretches of like, I think Jim, one of our middles, got like 4 blocks in a row.
Yeah.
And then they just bounce back mentally very quickly. Like they don't even dwell. They just go, whatever. Yeah. Like next thing.
I'm pretty sure that was because they just kept running it through the middle, and it's just like, I'll get through one point, and then they get through and bounce it, and it's a highlight play on someone's Instagram. And it's like, it happens.
Whereas I feel like we know like that mentally, it's like, this is a losing battle. We've got to, and then that frustration kicks in. That like, because I think in that first set, I think we were 8-2 up. In that first set, and then they just slowly caught us, and that presence of like someone breathing behind you, like okay, they're coming up behind us, and it's like this bit of,
because that is like it was actually the game fluctuated on the scoreboard, but it felt like the level stayed very similar. Because then the second or third set, I think we were down 7-1,
and then we came back and
had to fight back slowly to get it, but it was just
but
not really in our control at any point. Didn't feel like everyone was a bit uptight.
Yeah, I think
we've had, like, as a team, it's a good, like,
good wake-up call. Like
we're going to see him again in finals.
Yeah.
You hope you just see him in the grand final if you finish 1 and 2, but
you may not.
It'll happen at one point and you have to beat them in one game and just be the better team that shows up.
And we've proven that we can do that, I think. And we're like, there was a few things systematically where we fell short. Like we probably didn't hit.
We didn't shut down their stick hitters at all.
Yeah,
we over the.
We didn't hit over the short blocker anywhere near as much as we should have. Yeah. And that's a team where there's not many short blockers. So like you really have to be clinical there. Yeah. And I feel like we had opportunities to do that. We didn't quite kill the ball. Like, and again, as we said earlier, like that 19 all zone, and then Heidelberg know exactly who's going to go and kill the ball at that moment. And I think we were kind of still asking that question. But that's all right. It was still a high quality game. 3-0, that kind of stinks. But I think it was a high quality game at the end of the day. But we'll move over to the women's side.
Out at Empower.
Yeah. Starting off the day with Maroondah Cobras and Latrobe. Wasn't there for this. Didn't hear much about it. But from the scoreline, Cobras look really good. Really clean. Like the first set is tight. And then the discipline on Cobra's side to then create bigger and bigger scoreline gaps is pretty good because normally it goes the other way.
as the fatigue sets in and options close and players get better at reading. But for you to just shows you're adaptable. I mean, when we've watched them in previous weeks, they have enough attackers and they have enough variety in how they play.
They've got they've got a well constructed team. They've got the answer for most situations. Next one is Monash and VIP. Again, wasn't at this one. This was at Monash, but VIP just probably not up to Monash's level. Monash, I think, having all their players back, that's a pretty hard ask. I think that's literally, like top end, bottom ladder. I mean, you can be competitive, I think. And I think the scoreline was not very, but that's just a reality of that matchup, I think. Hoping that VIP learnt as much as they could have playing what is one of the best sides in the league at the moment.
Then next up was where you were preoccupied at Dandenong at 12:30.
Yes.
Dandenong versus Renegades.
This was a fun one, I think, for our girls. Like, we got, similar to our match, like where we got 3-0'd. The scoreline is fairly tight. It's not incredible, but Dandenong showing they can be a similar team where we matched them until about 18 all in all 3 sets, and then they just took off, and we just sort of crumbled under a little bit of mental fatigue and potentially pressure of being like, oh, we're 18 all with Dandenong, and then it's
who's the person that's going to start winning points at that time? Because a lot of teams fall into like, all right, this is our go-to person at 20 all.
Yeah.
Whoops, they're getting double blocked or they're getting picked up. So you need 3 other people that will be winning points at 20 all.
And I was, to be honest, proud of the girls overall because we were missing our 3 senior players for this match. So we sort of were asking, like we had, of the 6 players on the court for most of this match, 5 of them have barely played Prem 1.
Yeah.
So to have a scoreline that close with Dandenong when they had their entire roster, I'm pretty okay with. It's frustrating as it is. But Dandenong, when they've got all their players present and when they're playing like that, they're pretty hard to beat. I'm very excited for the next Dandenong or Renegade. Dandenong or Yarra.
Like
or
the top end.
Yeah, like I'm excited for the next matchup there. Next one at Empower was Heidelberg and Mazenod. Heidelberg showing that they can go and get it done. I saw a little bit of this online, and it's just like Heidelberg doing what Heidelberg do. Serve the ball really hard, attack really well out of system.
I reckon they're getting some balls to hit that roof. They've got some hard swingers.
Yeah, they probably do. And then I didn't see the whole game, but I wouldn't be surprised. And then our match of the week. Another 3-0.
Another 3-0. That's what I'm saying. We pick them good.
To be fair, and I spoke to some of the Yarra girls about this one, it was a good match. It was pretty much what we had spoken about. So Yarra having more pieces of the puzzle than VFUM, but VFUM being a bit heavier on defense. They could keep the rally going. VFUM just lacks someone to go and kill the ball. Yeah. And that someone is probably now injured. Like they had that player, or they had 2 of those players previous weeks. Yeah. One got injured with a knee injury and the other one did an ankle a couple of weeks back. So your 2 main point killers are now not in the team. So which is a bit of a shame.
There are always good chances for development opportunities for a younger club to find their next talent.
And they know they can get the ball alive.
Yeah. And get lots of repeated opportunities.
Yeah. So you may as well just swing as hard as you can.
That's the best way to figure out how to get better as an attacker is get multiple chances.
Yeah.
So if you're an attacker that even just plays high rally points, they'll figure it out and they'll get stronger.
Yeah.
A lot of these Yarra ladies that we spoke to after the game were just reasonably just happy with how they played. A lot of content that they just felt
clinically
in control.
I think that is a game where if you are not in control, VFAM take it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Not necessarily take the win, but they start chipping away at the set score and then they take a set and then it's like, okay, we've got to go. Because it can be frustrating when you're playing a defensive team that just keeps getting touches, especially as Yarra is a very offensive team. But yeah, they played clean, they got it done.
And hopefully our match of the week and the poll that goes up on a story brings a little bit of fire because people were voting VFAM. And I was like, I think Yarra's in really good form at the moment. But
they certainly were because they proved it right.
They were.
We will go to our sponsor for this week. This episode is brought to you by Andor Financial.
Now, as some of you know, a good friend of ours, good friend of the show and our Melbourne Uni Renegades captain, Michael Cirillo, has recently started his own mortgage broking business.
Not only this, but Mike and Andor Financial have committed to supporting and sponsoring Net Talk for the indefinite future.
If you didn't know, Mike has spent the last 10 years in the finance industry in both financial planning and mortgage broking roles and is super passionate about empowering people to take control of their financial future.
So you or if anyone you know is in need of a home loan or would like to review their current lending situation, reach out to Mike and Andor Financial.
You can find out more information in the footnotes or description down below.
Thank you again to Andor Financial for sponsoring Net Talk. And we're back.
Looking at
the round 8.
Round 8 already.
Yeah.
Oh.
Start with women.
Go so quick. Yes, we can. We open up at 12:30 at Dandenong, Latrobe versus Heidelberg. This will be more figuring it out, more getting your steps in.
This one could be a bit spicy.
I think Latrobe might be relatively in an okay situation here to start swinging more aggressively. But Heidelberg is a very good defensive team.
They are very good defensively. But I would almost, and this isn't like meant to be taken with offense, but I would describe both of these teams as quite messy. Like they are very good at just getting these wild touches and translating it into an attack. Like when we played Latrobe, they were hitting really, really hard pipe balls over defensive touches that I was thinking like, all right, free ball, and then they would somehow turn that into an attack. Yeah. So this has the potential to be quite a spicy match. Luckily for me, our girl's going to be dutying it, so I'll come down and have a little peep. But yeah, this one could be interesting. Especially if Latrobe click and figure it out against a team like Heidelberg. Like we almost took them to 5-1, but we didn't.
Happens. And then there was the second event of back-to-back and they got even better.
We don't talk about the second match.
12:30 on the other court at Dandenong, we got VFAM versus Phantoms. So this actually maybe the first time Phantoms is finally at Dandenong.
Yeah, I think so. Someone fact check us.
Oh no, I can fact check you. Round 3, they had a double header in Dandenong.
Oh, but was that the round we were all in Maroondah?
Probably. Yeah. I think you were away. Yeah, but the rest of there, this is the first time I'll tell you maybe.
This is the first time I'll be able to have a look at Phantoms.
Yeah,
so we'll be able to tell you exactly what their team looks like.
Yeah,
but haven't seen them all season. Excited to see what they can bring to VFAM.
No double header this week. One game, one and done for them. So that'll be good. You can just drive the 2 hours, 3 hours to Dandenong and then
try hard that one match and then drive home.
Don't lose. You don't want to lose and then do a sad long drive home.
No, you really
put on the sad playlist and drive home in the cold.
No, you put the heater on, surely. Come on. Don't be silly.
No, you have to suffer.
And then it's the match of the week for this week. Look, I know there's a couple of Monash girls and there's a couple of Yarra girls that listen to the podcast. I thank you all for listening. Can we please not have a three-setter? Can we just make it entertaining just for the fun of it?
Are we throwing out who we think? Because I know Monash is missing a couple people.
I know Monash is missing
which will be tough.
But I also don't know if Yarra have all their players. I think they might be missing one key player, but I am not going to divulge secrets
until the first whistle goes.
Neither of us can be here. It's also at Monash.
Yeah.
Can we stop putting the best matches on at Monash?
I think we can just give credit that the best matches have been Monash.
Monash a lot, yeah. Monash.
And they've had the home game a couple rounds in a row. So
yeah.
Or I guess not in a row, but there was a gap in the middle where we egotistically put ourselves up there. But
hey, it was a good fun rematch. Come on, it was fun. Look, I think with both teams potentially missing a couple key players, I think this one still is going to be a good match. I think both teams have depth. Both teams have good leadership. Like the players that are missing aren't necessarily like main players. They are still starting 6 players. But so it asks the question like Monash without a couple of their key players a few weeks ago with Dandenong really struggled. So have they learnt enough lessons? Like has their depth learnt, their bench learnt a few extra lessons since then to take it to Yarra? Yarra have really good depth, and we played Yarra a few weeks ago, and Yarra looking like the best team in the comp at the moment, if I'm being completely honest. When they are on, they are seriously on. They're one of the few teams that look just as good in system as they do out of system, and I don't think I can say that for every other top team. Some top teams are very favourable towards being in system or out of system. But prove me wrong. I'm excited to see this match. I'm not even going to see this match.
Watch a recording.
I'm going to watch a recording of this match by myself.
Yeah. Someone get it up online quick.
On Monday. Yeah. So yeah, and the next match
is yourself in your coaching role. Renegades versus VIP.
Yes,
at Dandenong 2:30. This will be. Hey, I can give VIP. This is a chance to try and get a sneaky win.
I can't believe it's
against a young team. You know, you're coach of a young team. I hope it doesn't happen. Sorry, VIP. I'm still a renegade.
We're still a little bit biased. Yeah.
And I think they should be fine.
I think we should be fine. I think this is, and this was our training all week, and this is sort of like knowing that they are, having a slow start to the season. They're a developmental team, bottom of the ladder. Sort of, they're figuring it out slowly. We've done a little bit better than them, so I'm hoping we can stay mentally strong, be disciplined, prove that we can go and get the win when we need to go and get the win.
And it's a chance to push a couple little things here and there.
Yeah.
Like hitters can go for a more aggressive swing because you might have the comfort of knowing if you lose 1 or 2 points on attack that you can still bring it back easier than like when you're trying to improve, you go for those harder swings when you can. If it's against a really, really top-end team, you don't really have the confidence and freedom to risk it. So you don't really get the boost to your development.
No, you don't. And it's also like when you're playing those top-end teams, like you and I both know, like it matters even more each individual point. But when you're playing an equal team or a little bit lower team, it's kind of like, okay, I know we could get a couple point swing here and catch that up, But honestly, I told my girls, like, I don't want to expect anything. I want us to go and earn every single thing. Like we are playing a team that's good. Like that's the expectation all the time. To VIP's credit, I know they can push top teams. They've taken sets off Dandenong. They've pushed teams deep into sets. So like, I'm not expecting this is going to be easy at all.
Yeah.
However, I still would really like to get the win, low-key.
Yeah. And last game of the day on the women's side, taking you into your afternoon at 4. Well, actually, taking you into dinner time. 4:30, Mazenod versus Dandenong. This could be good. I think if Mazenod can find some real service pressure again, because Dandenong have some really good hitters, stick hitters as well, when they're fine on a relatively positive pass.
And when they've got their good players.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think if Mazenod, and from what I've seen from Mazenod when we played them, I think the same thing sort of applies. Their strength is their serving.
Yeah.
Their serve receiving is quite good. Their like out of system sort of stuff maybe needs a little bit of work.
Because they haven't quite found the form that they had in the preseason tournaments.
No, that is true. They were really good in the preseason tournaments. So I wonder if this is the game that gives them the boost, like they can be pulled up by the intensity of Dandenong to figure it out. This could be really good. This could be Dandenong saying, no, sorry, next. It could go either way. I'll be there to watch this match. Because my P2 girls play at 6:30. So I got to wait around.
Sit there on your phone, Nah,
I'll watch.
You're scouting.
Yeah, I'll scout.
The men's side, 12:30. Also add in power to the women. Oh, I should know that. Well, that women's game wasn't. Earlier, there's a women's game there too.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah.
These guys are going to send 10 balls into that roof.
Yeah, Maroondah and Mazenod.
Yeah, they're going to be swinging.
You guys are dutying this game.
I'm not.
Yeah, okay. Well, our boys are dutying this game. This could be fiery.
Yeah.
Mazenod found their feet, won against Latrobe. So and Maroondah found their feet. They won against VFM, who they win against last week. We just
Latrobe.
did this, but my memory is
Latrobe is 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Goldfish, one swing around the ball and you're back.
Yeah. Good coaching quality, that one, I reckon.
It's good play quality too, forget the last point.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
Forget
right.
where you are in rotation.
And in rotation, what the coach says, all the things.
But that'll be good to see. I'll try and get there in time to catch some of that one as well.
And then naturally, our other match of the week is Yarra and Monash men as well.
We got to go the back-to-back of both teams because
this is 3v4 from last year. So it makes sense to have this up. And Monash look really good on the men's side right now, and so do Yarra. So this...
I mean, it's 3v5 on the current ladder at the moment. Only because we have an extra game up on the others.
Yeah.
But
because we haven't had a bye yet.
Yeah, we haven't had a bye yet. Yeah. Except for me, I'm there every week. But this will be really good to see. We've got to pick them back to back because both the men's and women's teams.
You suck.
I'm just trying to play it off and keep rolling, and I just couldn't. Like they're just good franchises. They just always have competitive teams for the last 5 years.
They're always there or thereabouts, which is the biggest compliment you can get as a franchise. Like you're always there. So and then this will be. I couldn't tell you which way this will go. If this is another 3-0, I'll actually be pissed.
Yeah.
I'll actually be mad. But this has got to be potential to go 4-5.
Yeah.
Probably 5.
So who's missing? Maybe a hitter will be missing from Monash.
I think Yarra have everyone.
But yeah.
I could be wrong there, but this will be really spicy. Annoyingly at Monash, are they at the same time? I think they're
they are different to the other Monash Yarra. It's 12:30 and 2:30. So you get to move from one court to the next.
Yeah, and you get at least if you're
actually, sorry, they're both on Monash 1, so it doesn't really matter.
They follow each other,
Which. They follow each other on that main show court, which actually has some seating, which will be it's a nice court to play.
Yeah, no, it is nice.
It's just too far.
So that'll be really good. Both teams have very, very complete rosters. So it'll be interesting to see how the coaches, sort of play into that and make changes and then counter changes and all these kind of things. That'll be a really, really good match to watch, I reckon.
Next match, Dandenong V-Farm versus Phantoms. Phantoms finally coming down to Dandenong too.
Yeah.
Haven't seen these guys. They've had their one game, but I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, we didn't get to see them. So it gets to these guys as well. Well, you won't because you're at Empower, but I will see them. This could be really good. I haven't seen Phantom, so I truly don't really know what they're like. And we have seen a bit of VFUM, so it'd be interesting to see how these guys, they match up. And then at Empower, this is our first time in Empower.
Yeah, it is.
A few of our guys could probably hit the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of my juniors did, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, off a bit of a swing.
Damn, okay. We're playing Eastside, so the fact that this is Eastside tells me that it's probably going to 5. Not because of us, but because of Eastside.
Happens, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
You're already like, please, no. Not like this.
Well, I won't play 5.
You couldn't play 5. You have to go back to the physio if you have to play 5.
Well, yeah, maybe I should have put a prospective appointment in,
I'm happy I'm not playing. My body couldn't do 5 sets anymore.
Yeah. But they always are a little bit of our kryptonite. They always find something to weasel their way into games.
Yeah. It's probably what makes them so good at going to 5 all the time.
Yeah, is they just like figure,
they just figure out.
They get their eye on the ball and they know. They adjust really well.
And then last on the day, 4:30 at SVC. These are 2 teams coming off 2 close games, 2 losses. So Latrobe and Dandenong. Which team is going to be hungrier and angrier from the previous week to go and get this win? It's literally all it's going to be about, I reckon.
Yeah.
Any takeaways from this one? You've spoken to the Latrobe guys a bit. We've got a Dandenong coach in the Discord. It's an insider from each side. I think they're both pretty keen.
Yeah,
for a win.
they both just want to make sure that they keep control of this game because I think either of these teams build pretty good momentum when they have it.
I think this game is won at the start of the set. I think the team that gets the lead early.
Like to 15, like your checkpoint of who's at 10, who's at 15.
I think if you have to play catch up, if you're either of these teams, you're not in a good position. Yeah. All right.
Probably a good point. That brings us to the end. We're just getting ready for the weekend.
I know.
Well, actually, I won't see anyone. I'm all the way at Empower.
I'll see everyone. I'm at SVC all day. Legitimately all day. And then all day the next day too.
I'm somewhere at 8:30. Where am I in the morning?
Oh, really? The juniors. Yeah, reminder for everyone to like, share, subscribe, comment. Comment your storylines. We like to hear them. We didn't get many this week. I say many. We didn't get any. Mostly because I think this is the people we talk to. We just talk about it, but like send us in on comments so we can talk about it.
So we remember, because we have goldfish memories and we forget immediately what had happened in the week.
Yeah.
So as we hit so much of the international headlines, because I always forget them, and then I come sit down and I go, oh, I had all this I want to talk about, and then we turn off the microphone at the end of the episode,
and then we remember all these things.
And I go, damn it.
Every week we do that. Yeah, you can find us on all the platforms. I read it out, but like, come on.
Everyone
knows the platform.
If we're not on one.
What are you doing?
No, if we're not on a platform, what platform would it be? You know, someone can tell us which one we're missing.
Truth Social.
Yeah.
Let's get on it. That's a legitimate question. Yeah. No, I'm not going on that. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you in the next one.
See you on the weekend. Tune in next week.
Yeah. Bye.